Well. It looks like Drake decided to diss Kendrick Lamar and his enemies in a new song. It looks like Drake had finally dropped the Party Next Door album, the collaboration album that they had together. But this song in particular doesn't have Party Next Door. It's just Drake. It's a solo track by Drake called Gimme a Hug. And before we get into the lyrics, bro, I'm just going to tell you right now, I've heard this song multiple times already. This track right here is the most contradicting track that Drake has ever made. But he does call out a few people. He does call out a few people that he's had some issues with in the past. We'll take a look right now. So you can see here that in the lyrics of the song, the first person off the bat that he addresses is Kanye West. Kanye West had made a video in an interview where he talked about the elimination of Drake. In the first verse, Drake says, "Yeah, Drake elimination, fake intimidation. Take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little bit of patience." And then he keeps going on, Drizzy, you're amazing inspiration. The shun rhyme scheme. We talked about that in the past. But anyways, elimination, fake intimidation. This goes back to Kanye West. Obviously, when Kanye had did this interview with Justin LeBoy, he had said this specifically when he talked about the elimination of Drake. That's where that first came from, was from Kanye West.
Very excited about the elimination of Drake.
Now, obviously, this is in regards to Kanye West saying that when he had did that interview, talking about the Drake elimination, saying that he's not intimidated by it or whatever the case may be. Going down a few lines after this is where he starts to diss Kendrick Lamar. He says, "You Neo in the Matrix, these guys just Nemo in the ocean. Small fish making kids feel emotion." This is basically Drake trying to take shots at Kendrick Lamar, saying that he thinks he's Neo, he's the one, in the Matrix, and then calling him a small fish. Making kids feel emotion. I don't know how I feel about that one. Making kids feel emotion is kind of wild, but he's referring to Finding Nemo and Neo from the Matrix. But then coming back and calling him a small fish, also referring to Kendrick's size. This is something that Drake has been running with since the beginning of the beef back in push-ups when he was calling out Kendrick about his height. And one thing that I noticed, that even though these are subliminal shots to Kendrick Lamar, I can't help but to think that he's still afraid to call him out by name. That's one thing that I've noticed within this track. So again, right here in the first verse, still failing to address Kendrick Lamar by name, but there's more to it when he starts speaking to himself here. He says, "Using you for promotion, truer words have never been spoken." This is Drake talking about himself, how they're using him to sell. This is him running with that narrative that they need him to do whatever it is that they do with his name. But like I said, in this beef, it takes two to tango. It takes two people to beef with each other for this to sell. And this is kind of a contradiction as well as here, because this is Drake using the beef to also promote this album. So it's the same thing, talking about how if Kendrick used him for promotion, or all the enemies that talk about him use him for promotion, but you're out here talking about the beef and using it for promotion as well. So that was definitely one contradiction that I caught when I was reading the first verse. But so far, he's already took two subliminal shots at two artists, Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West. He says they want to see RIP me on a t-shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan. I appreciate the fans rocking with me. This is just a small token. And then this is where he addresses everybody that's been waiting on his downfall. With the lines lower down here, he says, "Funny how it's only bitch guys that are waiting on the boy's obituary. Because if I go, it's these guys that become the sole beneficiary. And what the F are they going to do with it?" This is Drake just saying that without me, who else? Who would? But we already know, bro. Kendrick, he beat you. Talking about how it's only him and he only wants him to be at that spot, that number one spot, and can't even fathom anybody else taking his position. But clearly he's saying this because he knows that his position is in jeopardy after this beef. So this is him speaking on this, but we've never really heard Drake speak in this regard about the beef and his position in the rap game. And then this, in the second verse, the beat switches up. This is where he starts shouting out the people that have been looking out for him, and as well as dissing other people that have been calling him out, specifically Joe Budden and the people at the Joe Budden podcast. He says, "Savage, you the only guy checking on me when we really in some shit, brother. Melissa Ford, you a legend from the six. Hate to see you with that sick ducker." Obviously, this is a diss to Joe Budden, as well as bringing up his co-host, Melissa Ford, who is also from Canada as well, taking shots at her for choosing the side of Joe Budden than not her fellow Canadian. Really offended by that situation there. And then also bringing up 21 Savage. 21 Savage was a person that was looking out for Drake during this whole time, I guess. Future isn't looking out for him. But like I said, at the same time, calling out Joe Budden. And now it makes more sense why he went at Joe Budden in the very beginning. At the very beginning, before this song even came out, Drake had took shots on his Instagram against Joe Budden. It looks like there was a real reason for that. Now it looks like he wanted to let him know that he had a diss track ready for him on this new song, where he's calling him out and he's calling him a sick ducker. But not only does he diss Joe Budden and the co-host in his podcast, he also leaves a message telling people that he has something to drop in the summer. He says, shit about to be a lit summer, tell Tony, leave the motor running. So it looks like he has more music in stored. And this might go back to the time where he talked about dropping an album, addressing everything. And this is where I feel like Drake contradicts himself again. He says, they be dropping shit, but we dropping harder shit. F a rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit. So it looks like he's really trying to get the party lit. He's not trying to beef. He doesn't want to beef, but yet he still wants to take the time to throw subliminals at Joe Budden, to throw subliminals at Kanye West, and also none other than Kendrick Lamar. It looks like he's taking his time dissing people, but he's letting you know right now he doesn't want to waste any time rap battling anymore, which doesn't make sense to me because this is basically what you're already doing without naming the people that you're trying to diss. And that's why this song that's trying to be aggressive and him trying to spit these lyrics, trying to make us feel like he's talking his ish, it really just feels like you're contradicting yourself, and it feels passive aggressive like Port Antonio all over again, bro. It feels like you're saying, oh, they need me for promo, they need me for this, they need me for that. They're waiting on my downfall. Who's going to be here when I'm gone, huh? Who's going to do it? Everybody who's dissing me, you know, it's up. You know, he's saying all this in the song, right? Everybody who's dissing me, it's whatever, you know, it's up. But then going to the end of the song, at the very end of the song, in the last verse, he ends it by saying, F a rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit. But you were talking greasy in the beginning, but now towards the end of the song, you want to say F a rap beef, saying, oh, the elimination of Drake, talking about Kendrick Lamar and his height, talking about Joe Budden and his co-host, calling Melissa Ford out by name. Getting to the very end of the verse, you just had to throw it in there, though, right? Oh, F a rap beef, though. F a rap beef. I'm trying to get the party lit. I do not want a rap battle, guys. I do not want a rap battle at all. Just putting that out there for the world to know. Yeah, I might throw subs. I might do this. I won't call Kendrick out by name. I won't even call Joe Budden out by name. You called out Melissa Ford by name. What's crazy is that he called out a woman, bro. He called out a woman again, just like the situation with Whitney. And it looks like Drake hasn't learned anything, bro. It looks like you just called out a woman out of all the men that were subbed in the song. Kendrick, Kanye, Joe Budden. And despite calling Joe Budden what you called him and dissed him, you didn't even say his name. You said Melissa Ford. Why are you name dropping women, but you can't name drop the men that you have a beef with, bro? I haven't even gotten to the part yet where you're talking this greasy right after you decided to sue, right after your lawyer made a statement about UMG. The fact that you're talking this crazy after you sued for defamation is insane to me. It makes you think the same guy that's saying sick ducker, the same guy that's calling people all of this shit is in court right now for defamation. The last person that should ever make a diss track should be somebody who sued after a rap battle, bro. And it takes away all the energy from the song. Whether you like the sample in the song, whether you like the beat, to me, bro, it's not it, bro. Don't ever diss anybody if you're going to sue right after, bro. Especially when you're trying to say F a rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit. This is the biggest contradicting track that Drake has ever made. It was a very, very low tier, very, very weak sneak diss from Drake. Call the men out by name, bro. Stop calling out the women out by name, bro. This is getting ridiculous, bro. Again, you have to bring up a woman. You name drop Whitney. Now you're name dropping Melissa Ford. You could at least name drop Joe Budden, bro. You could at least say his name. That's the crazy part about this whole diss track. And it made me want to ask y'all this question, man. Is this a diss or is this a dismissal? Because it looks like he's just trying to dismiss the beef while also at the same time trying to get the last word in. It seems like when you get into an altercation with somebody and you win and they lose and they're still talking ish afterwards, it's like, bro, you lost. Why are you still talking? And then you say F the rap beef. I'm trying to get the party lit. Are you dissing or are you being dismissal, bro? Are you trying to dismiss this beef from ever happening again by saying this? Or are you trying to instigate something by the things that you said in the very beginning? But this passive aggressive flow is full of contradictions, bro. Do you think he's dissing or dismissing this beef, bro? Y'all could tell me how you feel about this. I think there's a lot of issues with the song, considering everything that we know. But y'all could tell me how you feel about this situation here. Y'all could tell me how you feel about this song. If you heard it, if you haven't heard it, what do you think about the lyrics? And get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it alleged.